Funimation is currently trending #1 on Twitter and has been for a little while now. Why is Funimation trending, and who is Funimation? What's been going on? Well, let's take a little look. Funimation's a studio that does English dubbing for Japanese anime. In January this year, they released Dragon Ball Super Broly, which you can see here from Box Office Mojo, is the third biggest animation anime film of all time with $30 million. The person who played the main role, or did the English voice for the main role in the film, Broly, is a guy who, I probably can't say his last name, a lot of people can't say his last name, but he's called Vic Monica. I think that's kind of close to what it is. I'll just refer to him as Vic. So the guy that was the main voice actor for that film, or the star, if you like, in the film in the English version, is Vic. When the film was released in January, a big Twitter mob was assembled to attack Vic with a lot of allegations, basically saying that he's a pedophile, he's a rapist, he's a molester, and he's done a lot of unsavory behavior. So the Twitter mob assembled, he got attacked, and then he actually got fired from Funimation. A little bit after he was fired, Funimation released these tweets here, and here it says it's on the 11th of February. So the first one says, "Everyone, we wanted to give you an update on the Vic situation. Following an investigation, Funimation recast Vic in Mononoke Season 2. Funimation will not be engaging Vic in future productions." Right after that tweet, this is the next one they put out. "Part of our core mission is to celebrate the diversity of the anime community and to share our love of this genre and the positive impact on all. We do not any kind of harassment or threatening behavior being directed at anyone," and underneath they got a little edit, "we do not condone any kind of harassment or threatening behavior being directed at anyone." So these tweets here were taken by a lot of the people that are attacking Vic as proof that Funimation had done an investigation, and they found that he'd been harassing and threatening people, and then things basically got worse from there. And then a couple of people he used to work with came out and also tweeted that things have happened to them, or they've seen things, or basically, yes, he is a pedophile and a molester and so on. So having two people he used to work with confirming some of the allegations that have been raised, and them raising their own allegations, having his ex-employer sort of confirm or semi-confirm some of the things. After this happened, he started to get cancelled from appearing at conventions. So basically, that's how he earned money, was doing voice acting work and appearing at conventions. So he's basically not being able to earn any money, and his reputation has basically been destroyed online. So enter this guy. There's a guy called Nick Rekieta. He has a YouTube channel called Rekieta Law. So it says at the top there, law-splaining the interwebs. He's basically a lawyer that highlights some cases he thinks are interesting to put on his YouTube channel. And he's become an advocate for Vic. And he started a GoFundMe to help raise money for Vic to be able to defend himself against all of these allegations. And what ended up happening was Vic filed a suit against, as you can see here, Funimation Productions LLC, I think it's Jamie Marquis, not Marchi, but Jamie Marquis, Monica Real, and Ronald Toye. So he's suing his ex-employer, two people he used to work with, and another person here called Ronald Toye, who's the fiancé of Monica Real. And he's basically suing them for defamation and also suing them for tortious interference with a contract, or basically getting him cancelled from conventions where he had contracts signed saying that he'll be going to conventions. So all of this has taken place, or most of it's taken place on Twitter. Twitter isn't itself involved in this case, but it is interesting that none of these tweets were taken down by Twitter. So he's alleging that he's been defamed, something illegal has happened to him on Twitter. Twitter hasn't said that any of this violates any of their stuff. Getting called a pedophile certainly is perfectly fine by Twitter, although I do know they ban things for people for a lot less. And so he's now basically suing them for defamation for whatever damages has occurred to him, whatever that equals out to, whatever his loss of income is, whatever his actual reputation being destroyed is. And they've obviously been saying for a little while now that they welcome going to court, to prove that he is in fact a molester and a pedophile and all those sorts of things. So, what has this got to do with Funimation trending? A long explanation so far without getting to it. Well, so far, some of the information that's been released is that one of the reasons why Vic was fired from Funimation, and this video is available on YouTube, was he was on a panel somewhere at a convention several years ago with Monica Real. She had a jelly bean. She wrote her name on the jelly bean with some sort of texture. She said Monica on it, and he grabbed the jelly bean and he ate it. And she said, "Why would you do that?" And he said, "So that I can tell people that I've eaten Monica." So Funimation has said this is beyond the pale, this is not behaviour that they want to have in their workplace, although it wasn't exactly in their workplace, and these people aren't exactly employees, they may be independent contractors, but this is the only reason so far, or one of the reasons so far that's been put forward as to, no, this is unacceptable, you can't act this way and work for Funimation. Well, enter Nick Recator again in his latest stream that he just did, or I shouldn't say just did, probably did about 10 hours ago, or maybe 8 hours ago. He has some information that an employee from Funimation gave me. He got some sound files that are grabbed from the Funimation server. So these are recordings that are actually stored on there, not some sort of throwaway information, allegedly. And it's got basically some of the people laying accusations about Vic's poor behaviour, saying some, I don't want to say some nasty things. I didn't really think it was funny. I wasn't offended by it, but they're basically laying down some slurs, and they're laying down some, I guess, rape and incest, I guess is what's happening. Maybe I should be offended by what they did, but I took it as them just joking around in the actual recording booth. But anyway, these are the same people that have been saying some bad things about Vic, and they're basically behaving in what seems to be an even more worse way in what they're saying Vic has actually behaved. So massive amount of hypocrisy, plus it's stored on the Funimation server. So Funimation itself is aware of this behaviour, and yet they've seemingly fired Vic for doing a bad joke. This here was the top tweet on the Funimation hashtag when I took this screenshot. This basically does a good job of summarising exactly what happened. So it says here, so apparently Funimation had secret studio recordings where they read Dragon Ball Z porn and make rape, pedo, incest jokes on official company time. And this is the company that says it has standard over inappropriate workplace behaviour and fired people over it. So basically, Funimation has just been a big hypocrite about this, and the Funimation employees and voice actors are massive hypocrites. That's what's really been exposed here, and that's the main reason why it's actually trending. Now, although Vic's been accused of being a pedophile and being a rapist, there's no accusations coming forward from people actually saying that. Okay, there's people saying that they're uncomfortable seeing him hugging and kissing on the cheek fans. But it's not the fans themselves really coming forward and saying that. They're lining up for hours to meet the guy, and then he gives them a hug. So there's lots of videos showing that. People are going to look at this guy's a pedophile. But the actual accusations are, again, things like he made a bad joke about a jelly bean, and there's 2 accusations that he kissed someone without their permission. That's basically what he's actually been accused of. But putting the employees, the people that used to work with him, co-workers of his, have come forward saying, oh, things you hear about him are true, and some other sort of prominent people come forward. That's why he's brought this lawsuit. And again, the lawsuit is against 2 people he used to work with, and it's against another person, this Ron Toye. Ron Toye, as I said before, is the fiance of Monica Real. He's another interesting part to this story, and again, this story is, it's ridiculously big, and this guy, Nick Recator, he's got lots and lots of videos. I'm sure there's other people with lots of videos, but he's got some massive streams, and he's been getting over 9,000 people watching his streams, so they're very popular at the moment, probably one of the more popular things on YouTube, at least streaming-wise at the moment, and so lots of people are actually hearing about this case. So I'm not really a big anime fan. I certainly don't know any of the people involved other than what I've seen recently over the past week or so. So I don't know really what's been going on. But it looks like it's getting more out there into a little bit more of the mainstream. I wouldn't say it's mainstream yet, but a lot more people just hearing about it saying, well, who is this Vic guy and what is Funimation? What exactly has been going on? And trending at number 1, that probably gets a few more people sort of noticing, saying, what exactly is happening here? So one of the things that Nick Recator did, he's a bit of a madman, he uploaded the video depositions of Vic and Monica and Ron up to his channel, and he does commentary on them, and he's got some 5-hour videos here. You can see them listed here. Here are the depositions amongst a couple other videos. And, they're very long. There's a lot there to listen to if you're able to work and listen to them. Maybe that's a possibility, but again, 5 hours plus for them. But he's just put them up there, so depositions are public information, public testimony. He's decided to actually upload the videos of the depositions, and you can actually see how these people react. So if you read the transcripts, it's very hard to denote someone's tone and how much they're looking around. Do they look trustworthy or not? But basically, from what I gathered, and I'm not a lawyer, but maybe I could be on a jury at some time, it looked to me like Vic was fairly trustworthy, and Monica and Ron weren't. And when you take a look at the people, and you shouldn't really judge a book by its cover, but if you just look at the people here, it seems a little bit of a cliche as to what's going on here. So here's Vic from the actual deposition itself. That's what he looked like during the deposition. That's a current view of him. And then this is what Ron Toye looks like. So again, maybe if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But this guy here looks like what you would expect someone would look like who's pushing this sort of agenda. And then this is his fiancée. I was surprised that, I was surprised that he has a fiancée. This is Monica Rial. And again, this is a person alleging that she was disturbed by him saying, "I've eaten Monica," and she's alleged that he invited her up to his hotel room at a convention, and she went up there, and he grabbed her. In her words, he kissed her. He threw her on the bed, which he's actually quite a small guy when you see him compared to other people. He's not that big a guy, Vic. He threw her on the bed. And then someone else, one of the convention organisers, knocked on the door, which caused Vic to get up and open up the door. She said that this other person, I believe his name was Stan, noticed that she was in some sort of distress. And then the three of them went out to dinner. And then after dinner, she accompanied him back to his hotel room and phoned up his fiancée. So I don't know why you'd go back if you're just alleging that you've maybe nearly been raped or something like that, but that was her story. She has that was under oath, or in her testimony. Under oath, she changed her story to say that she covered up her face so Stan wouldn't known that she was in any kind of distress. And then they've got a sworn statement from Stan saying he knows nothing about it, he didn't notice any kind of distress, and if he did, he definitely wouldn't have invited them back to a convention. So her story kind of falls apart a little bit from that part there. Now, 2 days ago, Ron Toye was trending on Twitter. Once again, all due to the same story here because of a video or a live stream that Nick Recader had put out exposing some of the stuff about Ron Toye. Before I get to that, this is the third person here mentioned. This is Jamie Marquis or Jamie Marchi. There are some better looking photos of her on the internet. They look like they're taken from quite a few years ago. I think this is a fairly current photo, but it is one of the worst looking photos of her on the internet if you just do a little image search. She wasn't deposed, which is why he hasn't actually uploaded her video deposition, because she wasn't actually deposed. But I think the main reason was because she's being avoided getting served. So I believe she's been served now, but she actually hid from the guy that was serving the papers to her, telling her that she's part of a suit that's been brought up against her. So here's part of the document that the person that was trying to serve the papers to her has written out and sworn to the veracity of. It says, unsuccessful attempt number 1. And, I attempted service at the above address. There's no answer at the door. When I went back to the car, I could see someone looking out the window. I went back and knocked at the door, rang the doorbell. I still didn't get an answer. A vehicle belonging to the defendant was parked in front of the home. I left a card door to call back, and unsuccessful attempt 2, 3, 4, and so on. Number 4 here. I attempted service at the above address. There's no answer at the door. A white BMW that belonged to the defendant was parked in front of the home. I checked for other vehicles registered to the defendant in the same address. It appeared the BMW that was parked out the front was the only vehicle registered to the defendant. The blinds were open downstairs. I sat across the street where the defendant would not be able to see me until about 1:05 p.m. At this time, an Encore utility truck arrived at the defendant's home. The driver got out and went to the defendant's door. I pulled in front of the home and waited. The defendant did not open the door. The Encore driver left the home, as shown in Exhibit A, and so on. So she's basically been hiding from getting the papers, and I think that was the main reason why she didn't actually have a video deposition. So Ron Toye, or Ron Toye III, why was he trending on Twitter a couple of days ago? And again, as I said, basically because of a live stream from Nick Recader. But what was going on with him? So he set himself up as being, I guess basically you'll just say a male feminist. I guess that's the best way to put it, the nicest way to put it. So although I think a lot of people might take that as an offensive term as well. But he's got the look there, and he says he's a male feminist and he's protective of women. He's been basically attacking Vic on behalf of all the women that he's protecting, and specifically his fiancée Monica Rial. So a few days ago on Nick Recator's live stream, he uncovered some documents, maybe not from Ron Toye's divorce, or he's had 2 divorces, he's got 2 ex-wives, but this was a restraining order from what was probably his second wife at the time, who is now divorced from him. So let's have a little read of this. So Ron apparently said, "If I were you, I would call me back pretty effing quick, because I told you about hanging up on me, okay? It's not like you do a lot, or you have to do a lot, seeing as you are afforded the opportunity to stay effing home. So if I need you to come and get me, guess what that means? You effing come and get me. Otherwise, I'll take your car and you can effing hitchhike and figure out how to get around, because I pay all the effing bills. I don't like being hung up on. You don't like fights? Don't do stuff to provoke me. You know you effing provoked me when you hung up on me, okay? I didn't ask you to do anything for your mum. Your mum has another daughter who lives with her named blank or redacted, who can pick her ass up. I don't give a shit about your sister. I need to get something taken care of. Don't effing hang up on me again, or you can effing walk around." He goes on to say, on October 15th, before he was served from his ex-wife, and the same day I decided to have lunch with my dad. I think this means his first wife was serving him at this time. I'm not 100% sure. Same day I have lunch with my dad about my decision to divorce Ron. Yeah, I believe that's what it means. His first wife is serving him at the same... I don't know how that even works. Surely he's divorced from her. Anyway, same time Tom and Dad about the decision to divorce Ron. His angry attentions were on me. He was upset about something, and when I refused to answer the phone at school, he left me a voicemail in which he stated, redacted, "Unless you truly want a divorce, you need to answer the phone. I'm being more than lenient. I'm just trying to talk this thing out considering what you effing did. And if you think poor you, how about I chop your effing dogs up and see how you like it?" Later that day, he was served a protective order from his ex-wife and a suit to modify parental-child relationship. He was livid. When I got home, I saw that he had kicked a hole completely through one of our walls, picture attached. He had mentioned something on his phone about killing her, so I decided to start recording after I got home. He shows what his intentions are when people get in his way. At 7:10, Ron, if somehow, because I understand that but if we see somehow, the judge better hope not, he doesn't have kids either, because I'll effing, it's seriously, if something comes through with blank, is my anchor to sanity, if something happens there, it's going to be very bad for a lot of people like the judge, blank, and his family, everyone. So this is one of Vic's main accusers. Well, not main accusers. He's been a third party parroting that all the accusations are true. He's quite a special kind of guy. So this is the kind of person he is. He's another male feminist shown to just be a predator, basically. He's hidden his tweets now. His Twitter page is set to private at the moment. I don't know how badly he got bombarded with this the other night before he decided to basically block everyone or block his tweets from being seen. But that's why he was trending. So he's a special kind of guy, and he's basically one of the main people that Vic is bringing a defamation suit against. So Funimation trending right now for all the wrong reasons. Ron Toye definitely trending for the wrong reasons a couple of days ago. If you want more information, the Recator Law channel has got heaps of stuff here. Although I've talked for quite a while here, this is a very, very, very small summary of basically what's been going on. There's massive amounts of information he's put out there. Check out his channel. I believe the next main thing that's happening with this lawsuit is on the 6th of next month. So I think that's a Friday. So there may be some sort of update as to what exactly is going on then. But until now and then, I don't think anything's really happening for a week. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens on the 6th of September. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.